Hi everyone, welcome back to MovieJube. I'm Jade and I'm back with Jordan.
Hello.
And the two of us are going to give you our thoughts of episode 8 of Halo, the TV series on Paramount Plus. So I hope you're excited. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because there's one left and we want you to stay tuned for that. And as always, it's going to be spoilers alert, so keep that in mind. Make sure you've watched. And yeah, let's just dive into it.
Yeah, so do you want me to give my opinion first?
Yes.
I thought this was not a great episode, personally. I thought last episode was not great as well. And that was the Quan-centric, Quan and Soren storyline, and I didn't think that really added much, but it seems like it's kind of ended now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of frustrating. I'm kind of happy that we don't have to see it, but at the same time, that storyline really didn't do much for me, and I'm confused as to why we focused on it. But
good point.
On this episode, I feel like they had a lot of built-up tension from, I believe, episode 6 between Halsey and John, and I feel like they fumbled a lot of the character work for me personally.
Yeah.
Like, especially where they took John's character, as you said, spoiler, like he gets, him and McKee bump uglies. He gives her a piece of the master meat, and it was I don't like it's Master Chiefs having sex, and like that's weird in itself. But like it is what it is. You know what I mean? But the character motivations and way that they got there, it just feels like that John is such a diminished character. But yeah, does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Because it doesn't fit him as a character.
I guess it fits this John that they're building, which is different. But I feel like as we were slowly getting a more individualized, like a John, right? And I feel like this episode kind of backpedaled a lot of that, where he feels like he went back to being super dependent and like being like the sort of like yearning for this girl and this figure to like help him and be with him. And I guess that's what they're going for with the Halsey and Cortana. But I don't know, it just didn't land for me, that aspect of like them being in a relationship and then it being so quick, and then also seemingly McKee turning back to the humans will pay, and I was like, I don't know if she was manipulating them the whole time, but just like her character motivation also feels like they're trying to pay it off really quickly and it's not landing.
Flip-flopped really fast. Yeah.
But it's hard to talk about it. Like we just watched it, so this is straight after. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the character moments that they're building up throughout like 4, 5, and 6 that we've gotten back to here, I do think they fumbled quite a bit of it, unfortunately.
I really agree. Yeah, it just felt very like we want to fake people out or like just flip flop on it really quickly. That it just kind of felt like no one's going to behave that way, where they in a day are like, you know what? Yeah, actually, now that I've fallen back in love with human beings, screw them again. I hate them now. And you will all pay for it. And it's just very fast. After I ripped my own nail bed out so it's like, it's not even like she could have been just playing the part of convincing them.
True.
Yeah. You know,
I say playing the part because it just felt so unbelievable.
Yes, exactly.
Like it felt like, but both, as I said, like I feel like they both diminished both her and John's like resolve. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like they're just both like, I was like, really? Like
you're convinced that easily?
Like, these two characters, like I get it, UNSC and Halsey, like the manipulation tactics have been a big part of Halo, regardless, right?
Yes,
the way that they're played in this episode made me like, yeah, man. McKee and John are just dum-dums, you know what I mean? Like, just get manipulated.
They're just ready for the next person who shows them, like, affection and importance, yeah.
Yeah, and even the way that they built up and paid off the Kai situation, I just feel like it was better than what they've done with the John stuff this episode, but it still felt like it felt flat. A lot of the stuff that I was excited for that they were building towards, I feel like they just paid off quickly and it was unsatisfying.
Yeah, very fast. I will agree. I am still personally really high on the end fight, though. Obviously, that doesn't override all the like literal character motivations making hardly any sense, but the end fight was really cool. I liked seeing this kind of well, eventually Spartan on Spartan action. And before then it was just John against 2 Spartans, and kind of, I guess, shows you just how tough he is to handle 2 Spartans going full force at him. But my favorite part was the Spartan on Spartan when Kai joined in, and
yeah, like I agree with you. Like choreography wise, it was good. I liked a lot of the beats. I thought when he was using the weights and stuff, it felt thumping. It felt good. There was blood. It was well done, right? But like just on like once again, like characters aspect, I was like, when John was like to McKee, like go yada yada yada, I was like, okay, cool. What's his plan? His plan was to just try to talk to them. I don't know why. Like if you're with the Spartans and you know this protocol, or you are familiar with what these,
you're aware of what Zed is,
yeah, and it's like it was just a bit bizarre. But I was like, that was the plan. You're just gonna go in there and
hope they don't kill you.
If I didn't come, like die.
Literally, he was like had a gun to his temple. Like, what were you gonna do?
And it felt like a lot of this episode really pushed. What I said, episode 6, I think was episode 5 and 6 were my favorite by far.
Yeah.
5 had good action and I enjoyed that, but 6 had it utilized what they had built up with the character motivations in a realistic and interesting way for the first time. And I was like, hey, this show might
human way
have something that I'm digging into here. But whereas this episode, I found myself getting frustrated because it was utilizing. It was taking advantage of the characters to push the plot forward, but in unrealistic ways. That it's like, I don't know if the characters would do this, and it feels cheap to just to get to the next beat. And it's like, I feel like there could have been much more interesting ways to get there.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when they had 9 episodes, almost an hour long each, they had plenty of time to give a good, legitimate motivation for them to have a change of heart, but they didn't. They just made it all happen in one episode.
Well, look, Jade, you've got to look at it when they're laying out the series. It's not like they shoved another subplot with another character that didn't need to be in there and gave her a whole episode.
That's the previous episode.
Being like, without being passive aggressive about it, like I generally think you're onto something.
Yeah.
That's why I feel frustration is like you could have totally utilized a lot of that time to build up, like have more of a relationship with McKee and John, even if that's not what I want the show to be or do.
Neither, but if that's what they wanted,
yeah, and build up. Even like the manipulation by the Covenant and all this, I know they're keeping it a secret. Just I feel like there's so much more to dig into with these characters, and we focused on other stuff. I thought the only thing I thought was true and interesting was a conversation between Jacob and Halsey was the best part of the episode for me. Yeah. Besides pretty well done action choreography, no doubt about that. Like it looked good.
Yeah.
Like and Cortana revving up the Warthog was cool.
Oh yes, that was a really cool moment. Like Cortana utilizing that, and I hope we've only got one episode to go, but I'd imagine in future or something it would lead to him being like, you know what, she is actually really good for me. Cortana is a great asset that I have above all these other Spartans. I have literal evidence that it gives me a leg up above all the other Spartans around me.
Yeah, see, that's where I find it frustrating. Like, I agree with you, and that is what it needed, like to build that trust to build that trust together. But once again, it was initiated by a character acting not like what I would just think that character would do. So it's like it just felt like it was forced to get to that point. Yeah. Where instead of actually finding or weaving in a way to in the writing that made more sense to me, that was like, okay, cool, yeah, that's natural. But I don't know. I just a lot of it, even the ripping out of the nail, I didn't feel anything about those moments because they felt so fast and so
undeserved. Yeah. And disgusting for that specific thing.
That was disgusting. But yeah, it's funny, man, this show, I know a lot of people dislike it. I get that. I know that that's the case with these adaptations, and I know they're taking a lot of liberties. And look, I stand here and I can understand why people wouldn't like it. And I've been on a bit of a roller coaster myself with the show. I didn't like it at the start, and I think around 4 and 5, I was like, hey, this, and 3 even was better. Where I was like, this is maybe onto something building towards a good show. And I do feel like 7 and 8 have really kind of fumbled it for me personally.
Yeah.
And this wasn't as bad as last episode, but I just feel like they fumbled a lot of the character moments that should have been a lot better, more impactful, and meant a lot more. And
absolutely.
when it built up to like that tension towards the ending, the tense phase, I just didn't really care because I felt like a lot of the characters were just acting out of character to get to that moment.
Yes, yeah. No, absolutely. Like it made everything feel very undeserved and unbelievable. And therefore I can't feel like, oh no, like, oh, the stakes are high, because I'm just like, what? Like, that's such a stretch to make it that, yeah, this would be Chief's plan, or this would be McKee's plan, or like, it just all felt very stretched and very unlikely.
The pieces are there, you know, like her getting tased and getting the memories of what happened to her and stuff. But like the pieces are there. It's just, you need to have, like, I feel like, build a base to get there where it feels earned.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they got there with a lot of the stuff this episode. And we're leading into a finale where, sure, like, I guess there's like I don't even know. I don't know how to feel about where they're going with the finale, you know?
Clearly something to do with Halo and the two of them, like, maybe finally arriving or finally knowing how to get there or something, I can imagine.
Well, yeah, I think they're building towards, like, you know, the UNSC's political turmoil and the fall of Reach and things like that have just come. But even then, like, one of the things, like, they talk about the political turmoil, like, I don't know the actress's name, but there's the lady.
Mary, is that the character's name?
The one that was talking to Jacob at the end. And when she starts speaking, she says a line, I was just like, man, like, just not good. Like, the acting here is just like, you couldn't do another shot. Like, you couldn't do another take. Like, it was just like really bad.
Yeah.
And it really, I hate to be that person. I don't like to do that, but it really sucks the tension out of those scenes when the acting is not up to par. It's the same with the guard that comes in. He's like, who are you talking to? Like, I was like,
he's so unthreatening. He was like,
walk around like, but it's also like,
walks out saying nothing to her.
He leaves the door, and then they go back to talking to Halsey, and it's like, would he not just wait outside? Like, all right, it's back on. Like,
all right.
Yeah, like, and even just like with they referenced it, like, you know, with McKee slaughtered that ship of people, and she said, like, they made me do it, yada yada. And it's like, I get that there's like changes of heart. We don't know much like about her. There's other things, but I feel like it really highlights, like, when they were maybe shooting it or like at the process of making the show, they thought that they were a lot further along with the character than what I think the audience would feel when we get there. And it just doesn't really track for me personally. I'm just like, I don't feel like we're at the point where this feels really, like, when she's talking to Halsey, she seems so innocent and like manipulatable. And sure, she stands her ground, but it's like, it's not the character that I feel like she is. And
especially when she was around the Covenant, she was like, oh, trust me, I will not be turned by them. Like, literally, they asked her, they were like, and don't fall for their human tricks just because you are one of them. And she was like, trust me, that is not a concern. And then it's like, immediately meets John as like, I love human beings. Like, I'm one of you guys. He's
beefy.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, and so John, like, all that stuff in episode 6, where John felt like he was coming into his own, even if it's a different character arc than what a lot of people expected. It felt like that character was becoming into his own. And I feel like a lot of the stuff here, sure, the ending, you could be like, oh, he fought back, and it's like, yeah, but a lot of the middle stuff in the character introductions felt very regressive towards what they were building towards. And you can have a character that regresses. That is also an arc in itself. But it didn't. It just feels like it's conflicting with what the show wants to do here.
Yeah, but it was clearly not what they did. They just lazily kind of skimmed past it.
Let's just make them hump. That's what they said.
All of them hump.
Yeah. Like, but that's how I feel. I don't want to beat it up too much. Like, I didn't think it was an awful episode. I think it was well shot. The action, the ending was good. The visuals were good. The writing, or like the choices that were made, I was like, I don't love it. So I'll give it a 6 or 5.5 out of 10.
Okay, I'd give it a 6.5. I feel a bit higher on it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hopefully it's good. I hope we get some
conclusions,
and I hope we end on it being a bit of an origin, or origin story. You know, like for like
an alternate origin. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like, you know what I mean. Instead of like
alternate origin.
Oh, you know, we could end on that. You never know with this show. It's thrown. We're gonna see that orange of an ass of Master Chief again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're seeing all of his body.
Get those master toes next, baby.
Ooh, that's for OnlyFans though. It's most exclusive.
Yeah.
But yes, I really hope you all enjoyed. Please let us know your thoughts on this episode. How you think
wait. Before we turn up, we should probably talk about the positives. I hope you enjoyed it. And we just ragged on this episode for 10 minutes.
I'm so sorry.
But I apologize. I apologize to the people watching. I didn't hate the episode. I think I was a bit disappointed. But as I said, I do agree with you. Just for some positives to chuck out there, I thought the action was well choreographed. It reminded me of a Punisher fight scene in the Punisher season 2, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
That was good, and I thought I'm coming around to Kai's character, and I feel like that's something that I'm excited to see in the future.
If we do.
Yeah, and as you said, Spartan versus Spartan stuff's cool.
Mm.
Sometimes you get Halo 5 Guardians vibes, but it's cool. It's Spartan versus Spartan was cool. This felt like they felt weighty enough, which was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were actually throwing some heat. Like it wasn't
and they weren't like using things like in Halo 5, like the dash or the thrust or whatever it's called, and like other things.
Yeah.
It was more like, I guess, kind of combat.
Yeah, but in Halo 5, like they look like Power Rangers punching in the cutscenes, whereas this, they utilized the camera work and obviously a lot of the visual effects and stuff to make it look like they were like heavy, you do not want to get punched by one of these people. Like, and I was like, I appreciate that it looked like it had the weight of that.
Definitely, like all of their armor, like including Kai's like shoes when she was trying to get herself out of the chain.
Yeah.
It looks freaking weighty and like it could like knock or just kill a regular person.
Yeah, she's a big woman, isn't she, Kai?
Yeah.
She's big.
Big.
Like tall.
Yeah, large.
Yeah, but I guess that makes sense. They probably had to hire people that are like 6'4".
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they would have wanted the Spartans that did succeed and did come through the other end were like the best of the best, like peak physical, like performance or whatever.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, some positives there, you know.
No, definitely. Like there was some cool action,
and there was a video game sound when Halsey. That was cool. When Halsey
when she deactivated something on Kai. I don't even know what she deactivated, to be honest.
No. It was when they first popped up, it had the video game, and then she deactivated comms so she could talk to the other two.
Oh, comms, yes, yeah.
Because then they just docked Kai out, and that was a bit.
Yeah, they punch her in the head. It's book.
Yeah. But
if you were editing that
that's where I would have put it on. Because there was a peak bonk moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed. So, like I said, let us know your thoughts, what you're expecting for the finale, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Say bye, Jordan.
Bye.